Hey Rockstars, today I'm going to tell you about how your mentality might be absolutely messing up your reality. And first and foremost, I actually want to guide you to something called a self-fulfilling prophecy. The theory of self-fulfilling prophecies, first discussed by sociologist Robert K. Merton, explains how beliefs and expectations can directly affect behaviors and outcomes. For example, there was a study where teachers' expectations of the students were shown to influence the students' academic performance in the, I'm gonna butcher this, Figamalion effect study in 1968. Now, annoying. I don't know everything about that study, but from what I do know, they placed a certain amount of kids in this smart camp. They were like, oh, you're so smart, you know everything, like, you're gonna do great things in life, and they told them how great they were. And then this other camp, I believe they told them, like, oh, you're gonna have to work really hard. Not really, like, undermining the kids, but kind of just being like, oh, you're gonna have to try a little bit harder. You're kind of like in a special camp a little bit. But they put these two groups to go and take a test after a while, and obviously the kids that were like, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so this, I'm so that, performed better because they were always told they were better. So that could have led to more studying, that could have led to, I don't know, just doing more smart person things, I guess. And then the other group, they were like, oh, well, I'm kind of dumb, so like, why should I study? Or just, just this mentality that said, like, oh, I don't have to try hard because I'm dumb anyways. And it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, maybe if you were told you were bad and like not smart, like in this case, your whole life, you're probably gonna start acting like that. Maybe you're gonna start acting like flunking out of school or just being like, well, I'm not gonna do anything useful anyway, so I might as well do drugs. I might as well do something else. It goes to show how you were treated in childhood really affects how you are as an adult. Because if you were always told that you're not smart, how many years later do you think you're gonna still keep slacking off? You're gonna be like, well, I was late to the party in elementary school, so I was obviously late to the party in middle school, and they told me I wasn't smart, so I might as well be late to the party in high school and college and so on. Might as well just not finish my degree. But that's obviously not the case. You were just told you weren't smart. It took me a long time to get over the word ignorant because when you weren't smart, you would just, well, back in my day, that's what you would be called, is ignorant.
Editing Starzy here. I'm saying back in my day, like it's like the word ignorant has gone out of style. No, I'm just saying that the kids these days probably say something different, like negative riz or gooners, so that's what I meant.
And every time someone didn't really understand how I learned or understand what I wanted to learn about, it would be called ignorance. And I realized this applied to multiple things. Every time I would be in a classroom or like any sort of like professional-ish setting where I had a lot of peers amongst me, I always felt like I was the outcast. So when I see other people who are like looking around the room really scared or like, just very physically different, like very alternative people with dyed hair, I would just immediately like attract myself to them because I truly believe at my core that I was just like them. I was like, wow, they're an outcast. They're like scared whenever they walk into a room. So I saw myself in that. And obviously those were the people that I attracted because I was like, wow, they're just like me. And it didn't occur to me until about a year of therapy that I had been rejecting all the people that I like thought were popular or well liked because I thought they were nothing like me. I thought, how can this person who is so socially adjusted be anything like me? That just made me realize, wow, I am pushing away people because they're socially adjusted. I was pushing away people that I realized I didn't think were anything like me. So if someone didn't really show interest in the things that I was immediately ready to talk about, I just kind of pushed them off to the side and I was like, well, we're not going to have anything in common, so why talk at all? Or, like my little outcast scenario. I was like, they're well adjusted, so how could they be anything like me? Or even like with pretty girls. Like, I always felt like I was way too scared to talk to a pretty girl. A socially well adjusted, confident pretty girl. I'm not friends with any of those type of people because I never felt like I was one of those type of people. Every time I saw a pretty girl or someone who I just thought was beautiful in general, man, woman, doesn't matter, I would just distance myself from that person as much as possible because I was like, what could we have in common? What? Because I don't think I'm pretty. So, what could me and someone who's that pretty have in common? We don't have anything in common. Until, like I said, I went to about a year and a half of therapy, and I was like, maybe I am a pretty girl. Maybe I can be a pretty girl. And I was like, maybe those people aren't that scary. Like, I had a friend once who just kind of thought I was gonna be super mean to them. And I was just like, why did you think I was gonna be mean to you? Like, why did you think I was gonna act a certain way and just be like pushing you away and be like, no, I hate you and ugh, you're so ugly. Like, why did you think I was gonna talk to you like that? And she eventually told me, she was like, oh, it's because you're so pretty. I was just like, what? Eventually she told me, she was like, oh, I just don't have like a good memory with or a good past with pretty girls. Pretty girls always like treated me a little shittily. Even my therapist opened up to me and said that she had a little bit of a same thing where she was a little scared of pretty girls because she would constantly be picked on by the pretty girls, and you know, that kind of put an association in her head that pretty girls equal mean. So when she found this like super pretty, when she was working with this super pretty model girl, she was just like, oh no, like, I gotta stay away from her because she's super pretty. She's gonna bully me. And they're like best friends now. But that got me thinking of that self-fulfilling prophecy. And if you believe that you're not pretty or you're an outcast, you're going to attract the not pretty outcasts, as horrible as that is to say. And not to pull like a, oh, well, there's starving kids in Africa, so you need to eat everything on your plate. But if you look around at where you're living and all you can see is like, well, I just live in a piece of crap, all you're gonna see is a piece of crap. If you truly believe that you yourself, whether physically, mentally, internally, if you believe you're a piece of crap, you're gonna look in the mirror and see a piece of crap. Why are you surprised that you're seeing a piece of crap if you truly believe that you're a piece of crap? As whooshy gushy, ooey gooey as it sounds, as namaste spiritual as it sounds, your mentality is your reality. And not only has that been proven in philosophy, it's been proven in psychology as well. It's been proven in multiple sciences. I'm kind of on the fence about the whole like manifesting thing. Like, there's a lot of people who think that to manifest something, you just have to think about it a lot. Honey, if you're in your room just thinking about how you want a car, how are you going to get that car? Okay, if you're in your room like wishing your life was different and you're manifesting that you go out and live in Bali, how the fuck are you going to do that trapped in your room? Make it make sense, girl. Okay, whatever you believe in, the universe, God, whoever, I was looking up to them, praying, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I was manifesting, I was, hang on, showing my crystals. No, I wasn't happy. You wanna know why? Because I wasn't doing that. I completely neglected it. I just thought if I sat on my ass and prayed to whatever higher power existed with my little citrine and my other little citrine and my rose quartz, that it was all going to be okay. No, that's not how that works. Your mentality is your reality, and a couple of rocks are not going to change that. Rose quartz, I have so much rose quartz. I don't really know if I'm a fan of rose quartz or not, but I have a lot of it because I knew I definitely had a problem with self-love. And I thought if I just prayed into the rock, it was gonna give me some more self-love. It didn't, obviously. You know what did give me more self-love? Going to therapy. And I wish this was sponsored by some sort of therapy help app, but it's not. I do recommend you go to therapy though. Please go to therapy. But anyways, I went to therapy for a couple years and I realized I just really had a self-love problem. I also had a really big perfectionist problem. I'm very much so a perfectionist, and whenever I look around where I am and who I am and what I've done, I'm like, but it's not perfect. And I think this isn't based on any study, but I think that people who are perfectionistic are more likely to be depressed because they will look around and be like, wow, I have so much, but not enough. It's never enough. Money is something completely of a different nature. Like, everyone has a different relationship with money. And I always thought, I was like, you know what? If I just think that I'll always be abundant, then I always will be abundant. That's not how that works either. You have to truly believe that for a reason you are, like, abundant. You have to have some sort of, like, proof that you're abundant in your brain, at least. Because if you're out here, like, no job, no nothing, no side hustle, you are, like, you can be like, oh, well, I just believe that in myself, abundance always comes. When it's like, no, like, you kind of have to, like, show yourself the proof of the pudding. You have to tell yourself, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this, and then actually do it. If you just tell yourself, I'm so abundant, but you know somewhere in your subconscious brain that's like, well, I don't have a job, and I don't do anything, and blah, 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 you are just going to, like, that gap is going to get bigger, and you're gonna stop believing that you're just so abundant. You're gonna be like, I tell myself I'm abundant every day. Why does nothing actually happen? Because you're not doing anything. Your life is action. My life is action. Everybody's life is action. If you're not doing an action, you are just the product of what comes to you. And that's never pretty for anyone. So if you actually have some sort of dream or have some sort of goal in mind that you're trying to get to, honey, reach for it like you are stuck in a little pit and there's one rope above you that's just a little bit out of your fingertip reach, a little bit out of your jumping reach. Reach for it like you have been starving in that pit for days. Okay, I know you can't see my finger, but I'm pointing. Reach in there like you have been starving in that pit for days and try to grab it as much as you can, because there will come a day when you are forced to do the thing you love or suffer. There will come a day where you are forced to either start that YouTube channel or sit in a job that you hate. There will come a day that you can either pay your rent this way or pay your rent that way. There will come a day where you're like, I'm really not happy with this. Am I gonna sit here and do nothing about it? Am I gonna sit here and be depressed about it? I don't like using that word, be depressed about it, because obviously you can't just will your depression away. You're gonna have to understand a little bit more about it and why it's there to actually get it to go away, because this is another thing I talked about with my therapist. All of your mental issues or mental illnesses came there for a reason. I dealt a little bit with an eating disorder for like too long, girl, too long. But I realized it was there to protect me. I realized I was going through a lot and that the only way I could really feel relief was to do the thing. You also kind of have to look into why you're not doing the thing.
Editing Starzy is back. When I say doing the thing before this, I meant a set of bad behaviors or just generally not good things for your mind or your body. But when I say doing the thing here, I mean reaching out for your dreams. So, clear distinction. I didn't want to make that not obvious.
Like, a lot of people who struggle with a lot of mental illness and a lot of trauma kind of just tend to numb their life out because they dealt with a lot of pain. And it's easier to just forget about yourself and try to go about life in the most easy way when that's not what you want. That's not being like kind to yourself. Just taking the easy way out or just doing drugs is not the best way out. You are not a piece of crap. Where you live is not a piece of crap. What you eat is not a piece of crap. And if you truly start believing that, you will start to see a difference. You'll be like, wow, maybe I look good today. Maybe I'll turn on the camera and record a video because I don't think I look like a piece of crap today. Maybe you'll wake up one day and be like, you know what? I know I can get a different job. I know I can make more money. So go do it. Go do it, girl. Your mentality is your reality. If you're like, I'm stuck at this job, you're stuck at that job. But if you don't actually believe that you're stuck at that job, then you're not stuck at that job. Obviously, there's a lot of contributing factors to that. If you truly are stuck at your job for whatever reason, I'm not talking to you. But yeah, that's the point of this video. Take care of your mentality. You're not a piece of crap. You're not a piece of crap. Take care.